Doner kebab is a doner kebab.
I need a doner kebab.
Just missed out on doner kebabs.
Doner kebab Essen.
I do like it, a doner kebab.
Doner kebab.
Doner kebab.
24 doner kebab.
If I lived in the city, I would have those all the time. They're so tasty.
I'm Thomas.
I'm Tim, and we're traveling around the world from city to city.
For each city we visit, we make contact with a local, a complete stranger to us, but someone who loves their city and wants to share that with us.
We're on a mission to find out what cities mean to the people who live in them.
It's a show about
People,
cities,
traveling,
culture,
food,
day life,
music,
nightlife,
and everything in between.
This is my city.
The city, that's where we belong.
Hello, Berlin.
City number 2, we just arrived. It's 11 o'clock at night. We're staying at
The Mini Loft Apartments, which is kind of like a hotel / apartment building full of loft spaces. Very excited to be here.
Berlin is a very modern city, not in the least because it was pretty much destroyed in World War II. So a lot of it is very new.
Right away, Berlin felt very familiar. It actually reminded me a lot of Brooklyn.
And you're going to be my personal translator, which is great.
I am Irish, born in Ireland, but my dad is German.
The good thing is everyone speaks English here, but I will be trying my German. I'll be trying my best. Even though I've been here just once when I was a lot younger, maybe 19. Always wanted to come back, because it is the city everybody talks about. People are flocking here from all over the world. There's an amazing music scene. There's an amazing art scene. There's an amazing club scene. So I'm very excited to be here. I think it's going to be interesting to see what is it that's attracting everybody to Berlin. Our main host, his name is Martine.
Hallo? Ich heiße Martin Günther.
We found Martine through his girlfriend Anna, who's a very good old friend of mine. First impression was he was very organized, list orientated, a bit nerdy, but maybe not in a good way.
Carry 2 pairs of glasses around me.
At all times, yeah.
It's starting to rain.
What?
He gets hung up on certain things, like the Brandenburg Gate graphic on the subway, which had a perspective problem with it.
Sorry, this is very much of a designer issue now, but these gates drive me crazy.
So this is his itinerary.
Which was planned all the way down to our bathroom breaks. But you can tell he definitely put a lot of thought into it, and it seems like he has a cool weekend planned for us.
And we have another person who we want to make contact with here. His name's Nomad, and he's a street artist, a really famous street artist here. And he's working on a big show, and hopefully we'll get to see what he's doing.
Brunnenstraße 153. We are looking for the headquarters of Makita.
It all started at Makita, Martine's day job.
Well, here we are at the Makita headquarters in the heart of Berlin, where not only the design is situated, but also the production of eyewear.
Martine spends months at a time designing a hinge for a new pair of glasses, so he really wanted to tell us all about it. He prepared a whole tour of the building, of all the production, how a pair of glasses is made from start to finish. Unfortunately, we couldn't film the production because they've got so many secrets that they're trying to hide from their competitors.
Can't go into detail about this.
The owners basically bought an empty factory and they just put the entire business in there. So you get design on one floor, PR on the top, and in between is all the manufacturing. So it literally all happens in one building. Yeah, it's really fascinating, actually.
It is very much the empty spaces and the new chances that a city like Berlin offers that made Makita possible.
Not something you do every day, but definitely like a cool start to the weekend.
Should we head for the Turkish market then? Let's go.
Berlin is quite international if you look at the different neighborhoods. And you have new people moving in from, I don't know, the other end of the world. They make these areas their own. You go 2 stops with the underground and you're in a different city.
It's quite a good time now because it's pretty late in the day. So you get better prices and people start shouting at you and throwing pineapples at you for almost nothing.
There's this chorus of Turkish and German call-outs.
Yeah.
That's why I think when we started to really relax and enjoy Martine and his wisdom of the city.
He was very funny in his attention to detail.
One of my favorite English words is haberdashery. I don't know why. It sounds like a curse, like haberdashery. You can get a lot of haberdashery here as well. I'm not saying it's all nice, but it's haberdashery.
It's autumn here and the leaves are changing. It's getting a bit colder out. So it's really nice to be out and by the river this time of year. It's just really, really beautiful.
The vibe of a place, the personality of a place, something that you usually pick up on in the first couple of days. This place, it just has a feeling about it. It's like relaxed, it's easygoing, it's not too loud. It's kind of a lazy town. Berlin was starting to feel very nice. So then a break was on the cards and we got a call from Nomad and he's like, why don't you come by the studio, say hello. So we left Martine and went to Wedding. And we went for a coffee with Nomad. He just started speaking about his art.
I do a lot of drawings, just like with my marker. I started doing like this really fast one-line drawings with characters and stuff. There's this one character that I always draw, and he's always like in kind of different positions, or he interacts with the environment or whatever.
Nomad's street art is bold and irreverent, but it's also fun, especially in the way he uses urban space and repurposes man-made structures.
What I'm like really interested in right now is kind of recycling trash that you walk past on the street. I see what I'm doing more like in a very direct sense of like making people happy, like while they are looking at stuff.
It was really cool to meet Nomad and hear more about his work. And we made plans to get a tour of his studio later that weekend.
It's Friday evening. We're about to have dinner with Martine before we go to our Baraka San Sistema gig.
We are in front of the Fra Rosa. It is one of the so-called Weinerei places. Their concept is that you are basically free to pay what you think it's worth.
It was a really cool place because you pay €2 and they give you a wine glass. Then you can drink as much wine as you like, whatever you like. You just serve yourself. There's a 4-course menu with no prices on it.
Okay, main course would be Kaiserbrasse, keine Ahnung. Some kind of fish I can't translate. Cheers.
It's like here, the experience of the food and the wine and the restaurant is what we want you to think about. So you don't even have to think about money. Just enjoy the surroundings.
What are you eating, madame?
Mysterious fish.
Mysterious fish. The food is excellent.
It's one of the best meals we had here, I think, actually.
Then we legged it to the Baraka Some Sistema gig. They're a Portuguese band, and we were in Lisbon last week. As it happens, our Lisbon hoods were good mates with them.
He's from Baraka Sistema.
So we were definitely excited for the show. They put on an amazing show. It was a phenomenal gig. Really, really cool, really energetic.
There was a packed crowd. It was a great venue. It was really, really fun. I kind of wish they could have played for 8 hours.
A bunch of DJs and live acts came on after, so we settled in for an evening there. We met with a lot of Martine's co-workers and Martine totally loosened up.
Martin took me out on the dance floor and he just really cut loose. Like I'd never seen someone cut loose before. And that's when I was kind of like, all right, this guy's fantastic.
He didn't even want to go. This guy didn't even want to go.
No.
Love animal.
The reason why I'm shrinking is that he's leaning on me.
Then Martine and Anna took us to get some late-night doner kebabs, which ended up turning into a nightly tradition for us.
We're all hammered. Everybody needs a kebab.
It's so tasty and they make them so good here. Oh, we should get one right now.
Saturday morning, we went on a boat ride on the River Spree. It was quite a nice way of seeing the inner city and the Parliament buildings especially.
Try to look the other way. Try to look the other way. No one will stop you. No one will stop you.
This is pretty relaxing, and
It's a good hangover cure.
it's a good hangover cure, and we're gonna have more fresh air now because we're going on a scooter ride.
I'm looking forward to this scooter ride we're about to take. Martine thought it would be one of the most efficient ways to see a lot of Berlin.
Yeah, we are in Prenzlauer Berg, just at the scooter rental, and we're picking up our scooters and lovely helmets.
Tim, have you ever rode a scooter before?
No. I was very hesitant about the scooter situation because I'd never been on one, and you said that they're a bit tricky at first.
How are you feeling about the scooter riding?
You know, I'm a little bit terrified about it, but trial by fire. The only way to do it is get out there.
Turns out, actually, it's really easy, and we got the hang of it quite quickly, and it was just a lot of fun.
I love scooter. You don't need to look for parking spaces and so on.
Yeah.
And it's just as fast as the car, basically. And also the sights.
We were just going around from place to place, getting the funniest guided tour by Martine, who would stop and tell us half a sentence about something that was in front of us or behind us at a traffic light. And then inevitably the traffic light would turn green before he'd finish the sentence. So it'd be like, and here you have the Brandenburg Gate, which was...
Martine knows a lot about the history of this place, and he's really passionate about it. As we're driving, he'd point. He'd just be like, look at that.
Did a tour of the Victory Column, Tiergarten, Brandenburg Tor, and then we had a currywurst.
So it's some sort of sausage piece with curry powder, a ton of ketchup, and a ton of mayonnaise.
Schmeckt?
Yeah, it's one of the best in town.
From there, we took a spin to see a famous part of the Berlin Wall.
And this is the East Side Gallery
Bikers.
with a lot of nice graffitis on it. This is a patch of the actual wall right next to the river.
Creativity's in the air in Berlin. There's art everywhere, and it's a great place to walk around or scooter around or cycle around and just soak it all in.
It's a city where you literally cannot shoot a frame of video without a bicycle passing through it. They cycle on the sidewalks as well as on the roads, as well as in the subways. There's bikes everywhere. They're very sensible bikes, and everything works. The lights work, the reflectors are there, and you've got a warm jacket on, probably a scarf as well, and mittens, because you're German and you're sensible.
It's a rainy Saturday night. Oh, here comes Martine. He's wearing blue pants.
Hi guys.
Hey!
It's a bit wet.
This is a bit wet.
Pratergarten is the oldest beer garden of Berlin, and in the summer it's huge, but in the winter only the restaurant is open, and yeah, food is really delicious.
That is definitely my kind of place. Everyone has a steiner of beer in their hand, and you sit at picnic tables with all your friends, and everyone's chatting up. I really could camp out there for hours.
And by the way, Tim just inhaled half a duck as well. I'm amazed.
It wasn't exactly the lightest meal to begin the evening off with.
How do you guys feel? I feel great.
Yeah, totally wired.
And it was all very good. I enjoyed that place a lot.
And now we're doing something also very, very Berlin. It's a bit touristy, but it's gonna be fun. We're gonna do Fotoautomat.
All over Berlin, there are these Fotoautomats, which are photo booths, but they're out on the street. It's kind of a tradition that everyone does when they're drunk.
It's a nice little takeaway in the evening. I remember waking up the next day and having them in my pocket and be like, oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Then we went to the secret place that Martine never really told us about.
I would classify it as weird. It's not necessarily the most amazing bar, but it's weird. You'll soon see why it's called Dr. Pong. It's Berlin's biggest ping pong round, and the fact that there is actually a bar attached doesn't really matter. People come for watching ping pong or playing themselves.
So you join this game where you hit the ball over and then move on.
And if you miss, you're out. When it gets down to the last two people, they have a 5-point match, and they hit the table, and then it starts all over again. And it's just all night long. People drinking, hitting, drinking, moving, hitting, game over.
It really feels like you're just in your friend's basement, almost, just playing ping pong with 40 strangers. That was a lot of fun. I could have stayed there for a while, but we had other places to go.
Behind me here is Club der Republik. Before it turned into a bar, in the GDR times, it was a carpet store.
In order to get in, you had to go down this dark alleyway and then up these really crappy stairs in the back. And it was a good bar. It was really chill. They had a couple of DJs playing really nice music.
That was sort of the warm-up to the main event, which was Villa.
We're just coming to the Villa, one of my favorite clubs in Berlin. Looks like some abandoned building. The sound quality in there is really nice and should be full by now.
Berlin is known for its club scene, which is unique because it's so DIY. New parties pop up all the time in squats or dingy cellars or some abandoned mansion like Villa.
That place is amazing. There are tons of different rooms and they all have their own DJs. It basically felt like the ultimate house party where you could just get lost in the mayhem.
Man, it was nice.
Let's leg it. It's now 6:30, so it's a respectable time to leave a club, I think.
But yeah, so we made it till dawn. We made it till dawn on Saturday night. Woo! It's our aim to stay up till dawn at least once in every city that we go to.
It's your aim.
In about 20 minutes, dawn will be upon us.
Gotta be somewhere here that serves 24-hour doner kebabs, because there's 2 hungry customers and we're looking for a fix.
On Sunday morning, we met at Bloomin' Cafe, and boy, that brunch was tough.
I was really, really suffering. I didn't want to speak to anyone and I didn't want to be awake. The breakfast came and my mood improved a bit.
Look who's awake.
Bloomin' Cafe was attached to this nice little flower shop that had these massive parrots flying around in it. It was a great little place. After brunch, we headed over to Mauer Park.
We are at Mauer Park now, where there's always a huge flea market on Sundays. The wall line from the double cobblestone line here turns left into Mauer Park, and this so-called death strip behind the wall serves as a park in this direction. So it's another example of like this horrible void used as a quite important public space in Berlin now.
It was kind of a grim autumn day, cold and wet. The ground was wet, and we drank some Glühwein, warmed ourselves by a fire.
I actually kind of fell in love with the setting there that day because the leaves were changing, so everything was kind of orange and bright and nice, but also the sky was just gray and dark and gloomy. There's graffiti everywhere and it looked a little run down. It's just kind of the way the city is. It's a lot of beaten up old spaces that they take and use for something else, which is kind of fantastic.
So that afternoon, Nomad asked if we could help him shoot this performance piece in his studio in Wedding.
He has a studio in this place called Stadtbad, which is an old public swimming pool.
Artists like me squat like the rooms here and have the little workspaces here, and
To get them for free, you don't have to pay. Or
there's people that pay money. I pay, but I pay with favors, pretty much.
we got a tour of the place, which was really, really interesting.
I'm Jochen from Ride Arts. We are an agency for art and culture. We are basically located in an old swimming pool called the Stadtbad. We're doing a new artistic program to bring back cultural life and life in general to this place. We are right now in the process of installing a new exhibition.
So yeah, I think it was just a classic example of a Berlin reclaimed space. You know, an old building that's no longer in use, now being used by artists.
So here in Berlin, everything is a bit more easy, and the people are just very happy that like you do something and something is happening, and that like empty spaces get like used again.
So then they took us into the bowels of the Stadtbad through a former nightclub that was down there to set up for this performance piece. Nomad was more of a street artist to begin with, and now he's becoming a successful gallery artist as well. This performance was part of an upcoming solo show. He dressed up as a clown and did this performance that was taking the piss out of terrorist threat videos. He called it a peace threat. It was very much a collaborative vibe with Nomad. You know, his friends were helping him out, we were helping him out, and in turn they were showing us around.
Very nice.
It was great to hang with him for a bit and see a piece of his Berlin.
Later that night, we met up with Martine and Anna to have a little goodbye dinner.
They took us to Solar, which was a really nice restaurant on the top floor of this high-rise in Kreuzberg.
I think one of the reasons Martine took us here was because he liked the design of the place. And it also had a great view of the city.
We had our first sort of posh experience in Berlin. Because, you know, you can get the grimy, but you can also get the good here.
That was pretty much the end of our night. No, it wasn't.
Because it was the eve of my birthday, we had to stay out till midnight. So we went to Mobile Alpha.
Compressed pseudo-perspective furniture up there. This used to be a furniture store.
It's kind of that Sunday night vibe of like, we're all friends. We've been hanging out rather intensively for 3 days. Let's just relax and have a bit of a laugh.
Martine taught us this thing he calls the Blanken-Jones pose, which is a tradition of his, which you could never get right, no matter how many times we tried. But I think with practice, we're gonna get it. Martine and Anna were just such gracious hosts, and they really were concerned about us having a great time here. We would do something with Martin all day, and then Anna would be like, so what'd you see? What'd you do? How'd you like it? Was it great? What happened? You gotta let me know.
He's really nice, really generous, and also kind of funny and a bit ridiculous.
Hey, what are you doing here?
He's got an awareness of his Germanness.
My love for making lists and plans and maps. I love maps. I also like efficiency somehow. I don't like waiting. I'm usually on time. That's all pretty German, isn't it?
Yeah, he's very much his own character, and he loves his job. He has his Vespa, he has his girlfriend, he has his apartment, and alles ist in Ordnung.
Martine also takes a lot of pride in the city, and he took us to a lot of places that are unique to Berlin.
I think these voids that are reclaimed by the people, that's a big symbol of freedom. I think this is one of the most important things about Berlin.
It was also great to meet Nomad and get a little glimpse of his Berlin.
I see it like kind of a model for the future of mankind, especially now that everybody's talking about crisis. We as mankind will learn how to survive without money. We will learn to count more on friends and on doing each other favors and not equaling it with money. I think it's kind of a very futuristic city in that sense.
The mayor of Berlin came up with a phrase which is arm aber sexy, which means poor but sexy. A lot of people come here but not to make money. They come here to have fun and make art. And it's cheap as well. You can live here and work here and not do too much and survive. It's very nice to be in a place where people are the driving force, not money.
Berlin is phenomenal.
It's a vibrant, culturally active, artistically active, creative, interesting place. After spending a weekend here, I can totally understand why people are flocking to Berlin.